Welcome back to another video. Today we're back to review the new JoJoLands chapter 5 that just came out, I believe, yesterday. And this chapter is not like it shows some stuff. It shows definitely some stuff that I was expecting on the show, but nothing like too crazy. Maybe because like I've been reading a lot of theories online, and a lot of the theories that everyone was thinking about came true with the chapter, so I wasn't really surprised by anything. But I still want to talk about it, review it, and talk to you guys about it and give you guys my thoughts on it. So let's hop into it. So the chapter continues off from where it happened last chapter, where basically Paco and Usagi got cooked by Rohan, and Dragona was holding the diamond, and then it fell out. And basically, like, Dragona's like tripping, like huffing and puffing, like basically hyperlenivating over like basically the diamond falling. And then Rohan starts to call the police and start telling them, like, yo, there's robbers here. I didn't get injured, but like they're behaving violently. I need you to come here and like detain them, basically. And Dragona is basically like getting more and more nervous, and it's just wondering like why did the diamond fall out? And Rohan informs Dragona like, yo, I called the police, they're gonna be on their way here. Let me capture you, it'll be best for you and your crew so y'all won't get hurt and y'all just get sent to prison. And as soon as Dragona hears that, she grabs the diamond and basically like tries to run again. When Dragona runs and puts the diamond in her bag, there's like an immediate like clitter sound that she hears from across the room, and it's the diamond inside of a coffee cup. So this diamond is definitely like really weird, really suspicious, and they don't explain it at all this chapter, like why the diamond acts like that, but we're all gonna figure out soon. I'm gonna talk about my theory on it later on. Basically, Rohan's just talking about how like, oh, y'all stole all my cash and stuff like that, and then like when he picks up the cash, it like swings back into his hand perfectly, just like how the diamond swinged. And like it's so weird because I don't know what's happening right here. Like I don't think it's not his stand, it's not the Heaven's Door, because then we would have saw it, or he would have said like Heaven's Door or whatever. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm assuming it probably has something to do with the lava rocks or something. But we're gonna talk more about that as we keep going. And Rohan basically is saying like, yo, like I'm about to restrain you, and like grabs the cable ties and is about to restrain Dragona. And then he immediately hears the rain, and he knows that it's caused by Jodio, the one that was outside. And like the rain's like inside the house, like it's raining a bit. It's even touches like some of like, I think it's either Paco or Usagi's leg. You can see it in the background. And basically like it rains for a bit, and then when Rohan turns around, it's gone. And all he sees is that the whole like living room is like basically like rained over. Rohan already determines that like, okay, this is his the guy that was on lookout stand ability and stuff like that. And he starts going into the living room trying to look for him, and basically trying to be as cautious as he can. And he starts walking and touching the carpet, and when he touches the carpet, he ends up like falling through, and like it turns out like this carpet underneath it was a giant hole. And so he starts to fall down, and as soon as he starts to fall down, like Jodio actually ends up like grabbing his neck with the cable ties, and actually manages to like subdue him mad quick, like manages to like lock him up and stuff like that. Got his hands tied and his neck tied, and this stops basically like Rohan from using Heaven's Door or anything. Like he's literally stuck. And Jodio comes up and says that he's sorry for all of this, especially because he respects Rohan, because he likes Rohan's work. And as soon as like Rohan's like locked up, Usagi and Paco are like basically like free from like Heaven's Door. And Rohan finds out like this rain stand has a lot of weight, and it can like cause things to like break apart and stuff like that. And Paco and Usagi start going crazy, saying they want to beat up, they want to like beat the fuck out of Rohan. But then Jodio stops them and says that because like he's a mangaka and he's very rich and special, that they shouldn't do anything to him. And basically he's telling everybody that he respects him, that Jodio respects Rohan, and that he doesn't want anyone to lay a hand on him. Dragona starts to inform everybody about how Rohan called the police, and how this diamond, it won't let her steal it and stuff like that. And everyone's like tripping, like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no way, like, what are we gonna do? And Rohan's basically like informing them like, y'all all about to leave empty handed, and I know all your names. And he starts listing off all their full names and stuff like that, and also informs them that they're being followed, that we're going to talk about later on in the chapter. And Jodio's basically trying to reassure everyone, saying like, yo, we're going to get on that plane, there's going to be no problem at all, and we're going to get back to Oahu. And he starts talking to Rohan, and he asks Rohan, can you please open your phone and call the police and tell them there was a mistake? And we get kind of like a callback, so we get Rohan doing the whole I refuse moment. Like basically he does that in this part, and he says I refuse, and then Jodio says you refuse. And then Rohan's like, yo, even if I retracted the report, the patrol car's still gonna come here. Y'all are basically cooked, there's nothing y'all can do. And Jodio looks at him with like this smirk, like basically like this kind of smirk thing, and everyone in the background's like confused, like just wondering like what's going on. And then Jodio starts to inform everybody that like, yo, when I was outside, I saw your iPad, and I saw a bunch of those new sketches for your new manga. They look really cool. and he says like, yo, I'm a fan of yours, Rohan. I respect you a lot, and I like your whole stance on manga. And he says like everything that you write is basically something from the heavens, and I just love that. And then everyone in the background's like, why are you glazing him so much? Like Paco, Usagi, and Dragona are all looking at him like, why are you glazing? Jodio's like, I'm talking about the lava, Dragona. I'm talking about all the lava photos I found when I was investigating Rohan and the volcanoes. And then for the first time in like the last two chapters, we finally see a sweat on Rohan. He starts getting nervous. And then Jodio ends up like pulling up the lava rocks that were in the safe, I believe, 2 chapters ago. I think it was 2 chapters or maybe last chapter. I forgot. But he basically like pulls up the lava rocks in his hand and basically like shows everybody like, yo, the most valuable thing in that safe wasn't the diamond, it was the lava rocks. And then Rohan starts really sweating. Like that's when you know like, oh, Jodio's definitely telling the truth right now. That was definitely the most valuable thing in there. And everyone else is like, what? Why are these rocks so valuable? And Jodio's like, I don't know how they're valuable, but they are. And I'm gonna get Rohan to tell us. Jodio goes back to talking to Rohan, saying like, yo, let's go back to our conversation. You were saying you're gonna call the police and stuff like that. But here's the deal, you're not gonna call the police. We're gonna get on that plane. Like he's basically saying like, you're gonna tell the police there was a mistake. We're gonna get back on that plane and like we're gonna just go about our day. But if anything happens to us, even a typhoon or anything happens to us, I'm gonna destroy the other lava rock. And basically like Rohan's like, what other rock? Like what do you mean? There's 2 rocks. And then Jodio destroys one of the rocks with Rohan's phone, like completely destroys it. And then we see like Rohan actually like lose his mind for the first time in the whole series so far, like in this whole part so far. He actually like starts like going crazy, like, are you out of your mind? Like you're crazy. Like, and everyone's even shocked. Like everyone's like Dragona, Paco, Usagi, they're all like, whoa, like this guy's actually kind of crazy. And Jodio's so disrespectful, like he grabs the plate with the lava rocks on it and like literally blows off the other lava rock that got destroyed. And basically talks about, now there's one left and I'm gonna keep this rock with me. But like, yo, like if we don't make it back home, this other rock about to be destroyed. And then he says like, yo, we got a deal and thank you, Rohan, for everything. I'm gonna see you later. And Dragona and Paco are basically talking about if they can still like steal the diamond. And then Paco ends up like grabbing it and just walks off of it, and it doesn't like move apart again. Like it actually like moves perfectly with Paco. So we definitely got to talk about like what's going on with that diamond or anything. And then before they about to leave, Rohan calls for Jodio's name and says he's only gonna talk to Jodio. And he tells Jodio that like he can't believe he got bested by y'all and it's humiliating. But he says if you're gonna take responsibility, then like I'm allowing myself to let go of that lava rock. But you have to make sure that you handle it with care and that no one else is gonna take it. And that if you have that lava rock, you'll be able to become filthy rich. And like he even says such a mechanism will gradually become yours. A law of nature lies in that lava rock. And basically Jodio looks at like Rohan with like ambition and stuff like that, basically like, or like intrigued. He's very intrigued by what he said. And then Rohan's like, go ahead, don't lose your heart, don't worry about it. And then Jodio's like, what is this lava rock? Are you gonna tell me? And like Rohan's like, nah, you're the one that like took it from me. You got to figure out what it is, and I'm not giving it to you. I'm just leaving it in your care. I'm gonna get it back basically. And he's basically saying like, don't tell anyone about the lava rock and just be careful and stuff like that. And also like he tells him to like trust his comrades and don't trust anybody, even your comrades, about it, because they might betray you. And then they all make it out the house and they start like moving, and Jodio's like, yo, the police car's not gonna get here. And we even get like this funny moment where basically Usagi has like this picture of like one of Rohan's mangaka characters, and like Jodio wants it, but then Usagi's like, nah, I'm not gonna give it to you. And Paco informs Dragona that like he has the diamond in his hand and like it hasn't gone anywhere. And they start leaving, and then we get to the end of the chapter where basically we see the cat from like the last chapter that was roaming around, but instead of one of them we see 3 of them, and we can see that the cats are following them. So there are a lot of things that we gotta talk about. The first thing is, let's go back to the very beginning basically with the whole diamond thing. So what I think about it, this diamond is definitely giving like some like basically giving me some like memories of like what happened in part 8 with the whole like kind of, I don't know if y'all remember that town or whatever that basically had like those leaves or whatever that would like swing you and stuff like that. It was the leaves that were basically like the last of like Johnny's Tusk Act 4 basically power his rotation thing. I don't know if y'all remember that, but it's giving me like feelings of that, because when Dragona grabbed it and tried to run with it, it like immediately like swinged back to Rohan. And then when Rohan like started picking up the cash that Paco stole, it immediately swing into his hand, kind of like a spin or something. And Rohan's obviously like very known of it, and I think that the ability stopped working only because Rohan like wasn't doing anything. Like, I don't know what Rohan was doing. It's definitely, I don't think it's part of his stand. I don't think it's part of Heaven's Door or anything. I just think he probably knows something about like a spin or something that allowed him to do that. Because like, I don't see what else I'm supposed to be knowing from this chapter about figuring out like, how did he do that? Like, there's nothing else in that house that's like really like giving the way that like, oh, this makes sense why he did that or whatever, or how he could do that and stuff like that. So I don't know much about what's going on. And at the end, Paco like took it up with no problem, nothing happened, and I'm assuming that's because Rohan didn't do anything or couldn't control a spin or something. Or it could be something where like, maybe if you're nervous or you're not 100% sure about stealing the diamond, then it falls out of your hand and like disappears or something. I don't know, but that's the only thing I can think about right now. The next thing I want to talk about is the lava rocks. So the lava rocks were basically like, this is probably going to be the main thing of the part. I've been hearing a lot of theories about it, so I wasn't really surprised when I heard about it in the chapter, that basically like the lava rocks are basically going to be like the big thing of this like arc, or this part so far, where basically like this is going to be like the way that Jojo becomes filthy rich. And also he talked about, Rohan talked about like a lot of nature inside of the rocks. So I'm assuming like, because you know in every JoJo part there's always like a thing at the end that basically like solves the part. Like in part 3, it was like Jotaro learning the world. In part 4, it was really like kind of like, it wasn't really the world, but more like Josuke beating up Killer Queen and basically figuring out how to stop Bites the Dust, or like how to, not really stopping it, was more like Hayato stopping or figuring out how to stop Bites the Dust. But in part 5, it was like Gold Experience Requiem. Part 6, it was basically like Emporio and Weather Report Disc. And then part 7, it was basically like the Tusk Act 4, the rotation, the golden rectangle, and then part 8 was basically like Go Beyond. I feel like in this part it's gonna be something like these rocks make it to where somehow Jodio's stand or something's gonna evolve or something where he can like do something that's gonna stop the main villain of this part. That's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming that these lava rocks are gonna be for, and also that they make you like bloody rich. They could also be like another version kind of maybe of the Rokakaka from part 8, basically, where basically like it gives like it has some mechanism, which you still don't know what the mechanism is, but maybe it's a way that like can like make someone stronger or whatever, or make someone have more luck in their future. Like maybe if you have the lava rock, you're gonna just have more blessings or something. That's the only things I can think about right now. But the lava rocks are definitely gonna be the main key point of this part so far. And maybe like I said with the Rokakaka, because you know the Rokakaka, whenever you ache it or use it, it's like an equivalent exchange thing. So if you want, like if you have broken legs, you take the Rokakaka to have new legs, then maybe you'll have new legs, but they don't take your teeth away. But maybe this like lava rock, if you like use it, maybe it has like no drawbacks at all. Maybe like it gives you exactly what you want and no drawbacks maybe. And maybe that's why it's so valuable to Rohan, because there's no drawbacks to the lava rocks and he's still trying to study it and stuff like that. But that's all I got on the lava rocks. The last thing I'll talk about is the cat chase. So we saw the cat like basically like last chapter, and basically the cat was like walking around and stuff like that. And I think that this cat is another person's stand that's basically like following them around. Like maybe that this other person's stand is basically a way to where they can summon multiple cats, and like the cats like basically like follow people or like can trap people. And like we still don't know, like I think the cats stand like, cause it's kind of confusing, but remember last chapter where basically like they were in that zip line or whatever, maybe these cats can like cause people, any person they like walk past or whatever, it causes a zip line to basically like summon on their wrists and their legs, because we saw that last chapter and we still like aren't 100% sure if that was that cat stand that we saw. But it wouldn't technically be a cat stand. I think this is like someone else. I think the cat is someone else's stand, and the cat's ability is that they're able to put like wrists or like things on their like legs and on their ankles and wrists to basically like restrain them and hurt them. But I have no idea who this could be. I was thinking Marilo, whatever her name is, Marilo. They're basically their boss, but I don't think that she would do that. It wouldn't make sense for Marilo to basically like obstruct their like basically their progression on the case, and then start following them afterwards. Like if the cat never did that whole like wrist ankle thing, it would make sense, and that the cat was just watching them, basically like Marilo just watching them to make sure they complete the mission. But I don't think that is, because the cat literally like tried to obstruct like their actual like progress and try to like stop them. So well, they didn't try too hard, but basically like when they walked past it, they basically like put the wires and ankles on their wrists and stuff. So that's my thing, but I have no idea who the cat's thing is, who's the cat owner or stand owner thing is. But I'm assuming that like next chapter we're either gonna see the cat stand fight them, or it's gonna be like they're just gonna like we're just gonna know that they're being followed and they're just gonna continue back to Japan. But we'll have to see. But I think that's everything I want to talk about for this chapter. We get a chapter a month from now. It hurts sometimes to wait monthly for chapters. It hurts so bad. But this chapter was pretty good. I don't think it wasn't too crazy for me, but I think it was really cool to see more of Jojo's like personality and see him actually like do cool stuff and like basically like save the crew and stuff like that. So that was nice to see. But leave a like, subscribe to see more content like this, and hit that bell post consistently. And I'm gonna talk to you guys next time. And let me know down below what you think about the new JoJoLands chapter. What you think about the cat? What you think about the whole Rohan getting cooked by these teenagers, and also the whole thing with the lava rocks. Like, what do you think? Let me know what you think about the lava rocks. So I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Peace.